sir, how is Indian coffee placed as a brand in globally?
Yeah, as we understood now, Indian coffee is high quality coffee, mainly because we grow under shade. As Indian coffee is being cultivated in the western and eastern Ghats,
Yes.
ecologically important regions. One of the important, you know, biospot, biospot hot spot areas of in the world. Uh, when you compare with the other producing countries and Indian coffee, where we grow under shade, two-tier shade pattern, while the other major producing countries grow in the open conditions.
Okay.
Therefore, Indian coffees are high quality because since it is grown under shade, with filtered sunlight and hand picked and sun dried, because it is grown in the hilly tracts where mechanization is very limited usage. These have resulted in placing Indian coffee as a high quality coffee compared with the other producing origins where they grow in the open conditions. That has resulted even in the market also as being perceived as the best quality in the world, especially the Indian Robustas. And also India is the producer of the washed Robustas, which are not available in other origins. These washed Robustas and high quality Robustas are perceived to be the best in the world, and they get highest premiums in the international market. As explained, now the coffee prices mainly depend on the international market prices. Based on the quality of coffee, the base prices that are prevailed in the futures market over and above or lesser will be offered based on the quality of coffee, which are called as a differentials. The differentials are in terms of the premiums or in terms of the discounts.
Okay.
When you compare with the other producing origins, Indian Robustas always gets the highest premiums in the international market, where Indian washed Robustas, where we are consistent supplier to the major European buyers, where they use for their espresso blends, especially in the Italian coffee market. The premiums that we earn is like 30 to 45% over the benchmark prices.
Okay.
Say that presently, if the Robusta prices in the London market is say close to $5,000 per metric ton, we are getting over and above close to $1,000 over and above the benchmark prices for the washed Robustas, and even for the naturals, that is dry processed coffees of Robustas, we get about 10 to 15% over the benchmark prices.
Okay.
That's where the Indian coffee market is placed in the international market, and we are also a supplier of many other niche and specialty coffees, as I mentioned, apart from Monsoon Malabar, which is GI registered tagged coffee, and we have also suppliers of the estate branded coffees, and then the certified coffees, and many other buyers requirements where we supply high quality coffees. Therefore, we can say proudly that the Indian coffees are, in terms of the brand, we are high quality coffee suppliers, and not only in Robustas but also Arabicas, since we grow in high elevations with under shade. Our Arabica coffees are also equally on par or higher than the Colombian milds and then the Kenyan coffees, and that's the. And internationally, since we grow under shade, Indian coffees are placed under the mild category, because they are mild in nature. They give mild flavor and dense to the coffee. cup. That's why it is placed as a mild coffees
Okay.
in the international coffee group. Yeah.
So, sir, how Coffee Board of India facilitate ease of doing business, and if anyone wants to start, what are the documentation required for the exports?
Yeah. Thanks. It's a good question actually, because we go with that coffee market is liberalized uh, market.
Yes.
Though it is no, liberalized, and all the regulations were removed in terms of the growers registration and maintenance kind of thing. In terms of exports, still no, certain documents are required for the export of coffee by anyone.
Okay.
The most importantly, for export of coffee, whoever wants to get into exports, they have to get registered with Coffee Board by obtaining RCMC. That
Okay.
is called Registration Cum Membership Certificate.
Okay.
Wherein no, registration certificate for the registered exporters we issue with a validity period of 5 years, and then after that again they have to renew with the Coffee Board to export coffee.
Okay.
After registration and obtaining RCMC from Coffee Board, whenever the shipment or the exporter order is ready for export for the individual exporter, for each and every export order, that is for each consignment, they need to obtain export permit,
Okay.
Form C, which we call, and ICO certificate of origin, International Coffee Organization certificate of origin. Both the documents need to be obtained. This export permit is mandatory document for customs clearance for his shipment.
Okay.
Under Coffee Act Section 20, for every export order, the registered exporter has to obtain the export permit and they have to submit to the customs for the customs clearance. As per the International Coffee Agreement, wherein India is the signatory for the International Coffee Organization, as per the mandate of ICO, all the member countries has to issue certificate of origin in the prescribed format of ICO. Therefore, these two documents, totally 3 documents. One is the registration certificate, the export permit, and ICO certificate of origin are need to be obtained from Coffee Board.
Okay.
Under ease of doing business, what we did is that now even the government of India is now facilitating for ease of doing business by digitizing all these documents in order to facilitate the exporters for seamlessly obtaining these documents. All the 3 documents we have digitized, online portals were created, and without physical interface with the Coffee Board, the exporters and the new players, they can register with Coffee Board. They can also obtain these 2 documents through digitally. Okay. We created a portal called e-permit portal, wherein through Coffee Board URL, coffeeboard.gov.in/permit, which is called, wherein they can obtain these documents. Now, Government of India is also come out with the single window system, National Single Window System for facilitating the trade, and also ICE Gate, e-Sanchit portal, wherein all these documents issued by the different government organizations for the trade of coffee for both export and imports, these documents are linked to the customs portal, and wherein it will be delivered to the customs department directly, and also it will deliver to the exporters portal, wherein they can also transfer to the customs department. The entire export documentations were digitized. Apart from these three documents that need to be obtained from coffee board for export of coffee, the other documents that are required is the main and most important is the phytosanitary certificate, and that is plant quarantine certificate, PQ certificate. The plant quarantine certificate is issued by the Department of Agriculture, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Plant Quarantine Division, and also the State Government Department of Agriculture, wherein all the exporters, because since it is an agri commodity, the plant quarantine certificate is one of the mandatory certificate to say that the product is free from the pest and diseases and other any issues. Then based on the importing country and the buyer requirements, some of the other certificates also can be obtained based on the requirement only. Apart from these mandatory certificates, one is that health certificate. Generally, some of the buyers or the importing countries, they ask for the health certificate, wherein this is also being issued by the health department of the respective states, and also the agriculture department is also facilitating. And Coffee Board issues the non-preferential certificate of origin. Like as I mentioned earlier, some of the importing countries are giving the duty concessions for products in the respective country. If the exporter would like to avail the duty concession, that is the generalized system of preferences, this preferential certificate is being issued by the Export Promotion Council or Chamber of Commerce, wherein they can obtain these certificates also and submit. These are all the documents that are required, and we also facilitate all our players through our Vikram training program. We handhold them how they can register with Coffee Board, and we also handhold them how they can fill the permit application, because we issue both the certificates with a single online application. We handhold them, and we facilitate for the ease of doing business. Now, after export of coffee, by obtaining these documents through digital, we issue with the digital signatures, it will deliver to their portal. After issue and after export of coffee, when the export order is completed, they have to again submit the proof of shipments, return of confirmations to Coffee Board to understand Coffee Board that the order is being fulfilled. Again is the permit quantity, they have exported so much quantity, like that. And we know this will be submitted again through online portal only. These are all the mandatory documents. In order to get registered with Coffee Board, what the documents they require, that is, obtain the registration certificate first. For any import and export to be taken place in the country by individual, they need to obtain the IEC certificate, that is Import Export Code certificate issued by the Director General of Foreign Trade, DGFT. IEC is a mandatory document for trade of goods in the country, services in the country. Therefore, we IEC certificate, they will it is a mandatory, and GST and PAN, and we also ask for bank credentials, because we deal with trade deal with the bank transactions, wherein we have given these certificates requirements along with the bank certificate formats in our guidelines, which are placed in the website, wherein they first understand these guidelines and submit to Coffee Board. And only in case of manufacturer exporter, we ask for the FSSI or the MSME certificate.
Okay.
Otherwise, for the merchant exporter, only IEC, GST, PAN, and bank certificates are required. Which anyway they know while obtaining IEC, they would have all these certificates. They will submit to Coffee Board through online. With that, we issue digitally. Yeah.
So you said if anyone wants to start the business, the easiest way is to register in Vikrayam, so that they'll get to know from starting till end the whole process through the professionals.
Yeah, that is for the new players and new entrepreneurs. And of course, Atal Incubation Center is providing very good capacity building programs. And through that, we have introduced a Vikrayam program for all the new players who are coming into the coffee sector. And this program is being well received by all the whoever is being attended, and it provides hand-holding of everything to get into the export and then the market related.
Because it becomes very easy. People want to start, but they don't want from where to start.
That's true. However, when you look at the exports, since it is an export-oriented commodity, there are close to, as of now, 1,900 registered exporters of coffee in the country, of which when you look at the annually active exporters who does exports are 300 plus. They used to be around 100 to 150 one decade back, but now as you see that there are many new players and new entrepreneurs is coming into the export. Now annually about 300 to 350 exporters actually export coffee, though there are around 1,900 exporters. And even if you look at that 300 plus exporters, we have both new players, as I mentioned. There are large exporters and multinational companies who are involved in the export of coffee. When you look at the top 20 exporters, they handle 90% of the exports. 80 to 90% of the exports handled by the top 20 exporters. The volumes and the value-wise, the top 20 major corporates and the MNCs are the major exporters of coffee. However, all the small players also have their own space in the export.
So if someone wants to start, there's a big opportunity to start an export business in coffee.
Yes, please.
Program, right? If someone wants to start a business, correct, how they can facilitate this program, and any market player is there who is already a part of Vikram and doing a good business now?
Yeah. I can say very clearly that the Vikram program, which is being facilitated by the Atal Incubation Center of Coffee Board, which has gained large momentum across the players. This Vikram program mainly facilitate the new entrepreneurs and the growers who wanted to get into the export of coffee, and also have direct market access in the international market, to understand all these global market trends, and then the price behavior, and then what are the documents required, and how the credit and finance related, and what are the benefits that are available, like support from the government through Coffee Board or through Government of India. All these are being covered under the Vikram program, and which is being well utilized by all the new players, and then the many growers oriented, and then the collectives and these people, and they have taken advantage of this program to understand all these aspects and get into the business as well as to the trade and export of coffee in a more wise manner, I can say, because since it is a very volatile commodity, coffee market is very volatile. This program is making them to understand all these things and take their decisions in a prudent manner. That's where the Vikrayam program are being mainly utilized by these players, and also the incubatees, and then the through various other skill building programs that is being carried by Atal Incubation Center. They are also getting into this program to get into the trade and business.
Okay. So, sir, tell me, what are the government supports available, for the coffee startups or coffee businesses?
Yeah. In terms of the coffee export support available for the exporters and entrepreneurs, there are two support mechanisms, one directly from the government of India, the other one through Coffee Board. Okay. Coffee Board extend export incentives, we can say, in order to get into the far off destinations and capture the high value destinations.
Okay.
And Coffee Board extends export incentive at the rate of rupees 2 per kg for export of high value green coffees to far off destinations.
Okay.
Like say the countries like US, Canada, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, South Korea, Finland, Norway, and Denmark. These countries being the far off destinations and also close to the major producing origins, where our exporters have the disadvantage in the high transaction costs.
Yes.
To offset these high transaction costs, Coffee Board is extending its incentive at the rate of rupees 2 per kg for export of coffee to these markets.
Okay.
Then the second component of export incentive is that Indian coffee, our share in the international market is very limited, say around close to 5%.
Correct.
And in order to create Indian coffee brand, India coffee brand in the international market, when you compare with the major competing origins like Brazilian coffee or the Colombian coffee, we are extending export incentive for export of value-added coffee in retail packs as India brand.
Okay.
Whoever is exporting, in retail pack formats, by creating India brand, they have to place Coffees of India logo, which we have circulated. And also they have to indicate that this coffee is the product of India or made in India. If they specify in the retail packs like that wordings with that logo of Coffees of India, we are extending rupees 3 per kg for export of these coffees. That is, when you convert into green bean equivalent, it is close to around 7.5 rupees per kg, 7.5 to 7.6 rupees per kg. These two export incentives we are extending to offset higher transaction cost and then the creating India coffee brand.
Okay.
And apart from that, we are also extending support for value addition for establishment of roasting, grinding unit and packaging unit, and through our Coffee Board integrated coffee development project scheme.
Okay.
Apart from the Coffee Board, these incentives, Government of India for all the products they extend certain incentives. One is the presently ROTEP scheme. ROTEP is the remission of duties and taxes for export of products. Under this ROTEP scheme, the Government of India is extending incentive of 1.4% of the FOB value for the green coffee, and 2.5% of FOB value for the instant coffee. Incentive is being extended, and also government is extending duty drawback scheme wherein these incentives can be availed by the exporters directly through the government DGFTV. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And apart from this, we also take up a lot of export promotional activities, wherein we take up promotion of Indian coffee through participation of international events, coffee-centric events, and then we also take up cupping sessions, and then the flavor of India competitions in the important markets. And we have also created GI coffees for our regional coffees, and also monsoon Malabar coffee of specialty, which will be taken up widely for promotion. And we also engage through our Indian embassies, abroad for promotion of Indian coffee by conducting virtual buyer-seller meets, and also sending the Indian GI coffee gift boxes to promote to the major buyers and then the important players in that market. Similar kind of lot of promotional activities we take up for promoting Indian coffee in the international market.
Okay, very nice. So, sir, by now we have known the export, we have known the policies, you have told us everything about a startup, how they want to start. So I would like to understand, what is your vision of Indian coffee in next 5 years? Where you see Indian coffee or Indian export or domestic consumption next 5 years?
Okay. Yeah. Yes. If we would like to understand the vision of coffee sector and also the exports, whatever the coffee that is being produced is getting exported. There is no coffee available there is a good demand for Indian coffee, and whatever that we are producing is getting exported. And in order to increase exports, we need to increase production. And our production is, though it is increasing to marginally, but it is not increasing to meet the export demand. Even if we increase our production and double the production, and there is a scope for export of the coffee. If that is the case, how to increase the production? As we look at the overall coffee production scenario, the traditional coffee growing states in Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, where more than 95 to 96% of our country's production is coming, there is a stagnation in the production, mainly because there is no scope for further expansion of areas. Because whatever the suitable areas available in these three traditional coffee growing states is exhausted, and there is a limited scope. Therefore, we can concentrate in these traditional coffee growing states by improving productivity and quality of coffee, so that you can increase production, and also you can increase returns by improving the quality of coffee. These two areas are the focused areas for increasing production and quality of coffee in the traditional coffee growing states. But there is a scope for expansion and consolidation and quality improvement of coffee in the non-traditional coffee growing states like Andhra Pradesh, Arku Valley region, and Odisha, Koraput and the surrounding districts, and as well as to certain extent in the northeastern region. Okay, through the state government, respective state governments, and through the respective implementing agencies of the states like ITDA, Integrated Tribal Development Agency in Andhra Pradesh, and then Odisha government also has come out with the vision for expanding area and production. Through technical support from the coffee board, wherein in these areas the coffee cultivation is predominantly dominated by the tribal communities, wherein focusing for providing better social, economic life for the needy sector, coffee has become, and more importantly, environmental side also, where in these regions the shifting cultivation, Podu cultivation is predominant. No, both the environment, social and economic angle, coffee has become a more sustainable activity, and the governments, both the coffee board and the respective state governments are focusing on increasing production and expanding areas. Here already the respective states along with coffee board has identified suitable areas of expansion for close to 2 lakh hectares where it is being focused. If we wish to increase the exports from present level of 1.3 billion USD with a vision of 2.5 billion by next 5 years, and also as per the Government of India vision for 2047, where Coffee Board is also submitted vision for next 10 years, and then the 2047, we placed production has to be doubled in next 10 years. Correct. And tripled by 2047. That means from 3.6 lakh metric tons production to 6 lakh metric tons in 10 years and 9 lakh metric tons by 2047. In turn, the exports from 1.3 billion to 2.5 billion next 5 years, and then 6 billion by 2047, and also increasing share of value-added coffee exports, as I have explained earlier, from present level to 35 to 38% to 60%, and also focusing on specialty and other quality coffees productions. And with this vision and with the areas where we have to concentrate to increase production, productivity, quality, thereby increasing exports and value addition in the country, is the vision for the coffee sector in the country. That's what I perceive personally. Hope that we reach to these levels with involvement of everyone in the sector, both the government support, and more importantly, the stakeholders who has to play a dominant role in taking up those activities and taking that advantage wherever it is available suitably for increasing productivity as well as quality, which is the need of the hour, where if we improve our cupping score and the quality score further, we consistently maintain high quality supplier. Therefore, our vision also can be reached to that levels. Thank you.
So we wish that you will overachieve your target, sir, in next 5 years and by 2047. So we have learned a lot, sir. Thanks for pouring so much of information on coffee export and policies. And I wish everyone have got a lot of answers of their queries, what they had in mind, and how they can increase their export, how they can do a new startup in coffee export. So thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, and thanks everyone.